Hello and welcome to another Nintendo Life hardware feature here. As you can see, this one's going to be about everyone's favourite handheld, the original and best monochrome Game Boy. But there's something special about this Game Boy that I've got here. As you can probably make out from the screen, which is quite dark, this one's actually had a modification which is called a Bivert mod, which basically improves the contrast of the screen dramatically, but only works with a backlight. So this has been modded by a company based in the UK called Game Boy Mods UK. There's a guy called Sean who runs that, who does amazing work, not just modding Game Boys, but also doing custom cases, and he also does Game Boy Colors and all kinds of really cool stuff. So he's modded this one for me. So that's required him to open the machine up. I think you have to put a chip in to do the contrast mod. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to try and sound like an expert on this because, to be honest, I don't totally understand the process that he's gone through. All I know is the results are amazing, as you're going to see. So if we flick this on, you can see the backlight kicks in. Now it's probably not going to be immediately apparent from this video, but the contrast is just absolutely stunning on this now. It's absolutely amazing. And I think one of the reasons why it's so good is basically the reason the screen is black is because the contrast has been ramped up so much that you can only really see the image when you've got a backlight behind it. So as you can see, you know, the backlight itself is good, but with the Bivert mod it is even better. It's an amazing picture. And also one thing I have noticed is that despite the fact that the Game Boy's got, you know, the screen is the same screen essentially, and despite the fact it's got quite a bad reputation for blurriness, when you've had this mod done, the blurriness doesn't seem to be as much of an issue. I assume that's down to the fact that it's backlit, so obviously it's easy to see. But it's, you know, there's still a little bit of motion blur there, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was on the original machine. So now we've got everyone's favourite Russian puzzler, Tetris. And again you can see, obviously one of the reasons why Game Boy games look so good like this is obviously the games were developed so, you know, monochrome was very much what the developers knew they were going to be working with. So they created quite simplistic games that didn't use lots of background detail and stuff, so they're easy to see. And I think this mod just really brings all that out. It just makes the games look even better. There's a certain quality to Game Boy titles, I think, and this mod is absolutely essential. If you're passionate about your Game Boy and you really value it as a machine like I do, I mean, it's still one of my favourite handheld devices, this is the kind of mod that really brings it back to life again. I mean, it finally means you can play wherever you want. You know, you don't have to be limited by having to sit directly under a light to get the best picture. So it is really, really good. I'm really, really impressed with it. I mean, battery life is a question. I have been told by Sean that obviously it does impact battery life a little bit, but because these are like LEDs, they're not absorbing a lot of power, so you're still going to get a fair few hours. I don't think it makes a massive difference to the amount of... I mean, I've had this pair of batteries in there now for a good few hours, and I can only vaguely remember what I used to get out of the machine when I was a kid. It was maybe 10 hours, and I'm probably approaching that now, so it hasn't really affected the battery life that much. So yeah, I mean, if, like I say, if you've got a Game Boy and you're really keen to keep it or get it back into service again, this is definitely a good mod to get. Try one more game now. You can also have what I haven't mentioned yet, is well worth mentioning, is you can get these done in different colours. There's different colour mods, so you can actually have like a red screen or a yellow screen or a blue screen. I mean, I picked the green. I mean, really, I suppose the original Game Boy screen was like a yellowish green, but this to me sort of like, this is how I imagine. Whenever they did adverts for Game Boy games, they always seemed to make the screen look like it was lit up, which I suppose is a bit misleading. And this kind of always reminds me of what those adverts look like. So, good old DuckTales. So yeah, it's a great little mod, and I can see it. You know, it's put a lot more life back into my machine. I've started playing it a lot more now. It's really, really good. So, as you can see, when you do tilt the machine, you get like a change in. can see like it just switches a little bit. But I mean, I'm not sure how close I can get that to the camera so you can see the quality really. It's probably camera's not going to be up to it, but no, it's a great mod. So yeah, I'll put the link to Game Boy Mods UK in the description, and I'll also put a little annotation on as well for you to click. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll be back with more hardware stuff on Nintendo Life. Don't forget to subscribe. We really want to get those subscriptions up. We want to get as many people as we can watching these videos so we can make more of them. So tell us what you liked, what you didn't like by leaving a comment, and don't forget to visit nintendolife.com. Thanks very much.